Oh my gosh, I know a good one. I think you guys will be excited for me because I know the love some of you have for this series. Yeah, we're doing it. Hello everyone, my name is Holly and today's video is a really exciting one. We're going to be going through hopefully a decent stack of books that I want to read this year in 2022. Making a TBR in general can be really intimidating for me these days, but a yearly TBR, now that's the good stuff. It really makes you evaluate what books you've had for a really long time that you haven't gotten to yet, but you should. Book releases from last year that you never got to, or even series you still need to continue or even finish. Well, I haven't decided yet, and you're going to help me in retrospect. This right here is my new journal where I've been tracking my reading, which includes my super duper secret, totally original reading method. I'll link that video for you because I know you're gonna want to watch it. I have a blank list here. Can this fold back? No, it cannot. Read these books in 2022, bitch. It doesn't say bitch, but trust me, I really wanted to write it for motivation. We are going to fill this out together. Well, hey there. So as you can tell, I am in a different location and I still have colorful lighting behind me. And that's all because of Dakala, who is sponsoring today's video. Dakala is literally lighting up my life in the most colorful of ways. If you are looking for the perfect smart light changing lamp, you want some ambiance in your bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, maybe your videos like me, then I highly recommend checking them out. Not only do I have their Arkenstone, which is right here, but they sent over the most powerful lamp of them all, the Elite Arch. And this thing is so sleek and beautiful. It's just a delight to create the perfect lighting while I read for the night or even during the day. I seriously have this thing on for like 12 hours of the day, if not more. Here is a very long list that the Elite Arch features. I know it's a lot, but it all makes it so versatile. What's really cool about this version is you can just lightly touch the top of the arch and change the color, or you can use the app and choose whatever colors and themes your heart desires. You have a literal light show in your hands. Plus, you can charge your phone on it. Even if you have a pop socket on the back, it still senses it. No more dealing with an annoying cord. It's basically the coolest alarm clock you could ever own, especially with the ultimate sound therapy it has. The sleep aid features includes 8 soothing, naturally recorded environmental and white noise sounds designed to help your mind and body relax. Here's an example. You'll wake up wondering why the heck you're sleeping outside when in fact you're actually still cocooned in your bed. And you can own it or get one as a gift by clicking the link in my description box below and using my code HOLLY for 20% off. I think that's one heck of a deal. They of course have much cheaper options to fit your budget if that is what you're looking for. So brighten up your life with Dakala. Thanks again to them for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so I have 2 categories here. We have physical and we have ebook. I'm actually a huge Kindle reader, my dirty little secret, but I do want the physical books category to be longer because we really need to get a move on with my physical TBR, but I do have more of an idea on what books on my Kindle I want to read this year right now, so I kind of want to start with those first. And then we'll take a look at my shelves, see what we're working with physically. Oh, and also we're only focusing on backlist books, so books that are already out. Trust me, there are plenty of upcoming books I want to read, and I will read, but those are dedicated to my monthly new releases videos and my TBR videos. So if you want to know what new books I'm going to read, be sure to watch those when they come out. Okay, back again. Can I put this here? Hell yeah, I can. So I want to go on a Rob J. Hayes' binge. If you don't know who that is, he's a very well-known indie fantasy author who I think has done very well for himself, promo-wise. If you're on Twitter, you probably follow him. I have only read one book by him, and it was a 5-star read. It was Along the Razor's Edge. Boom, right there. Freaking loved it, and he's been so very kind to offer me his books in ebook format every single time he publishes one, and I need to read them. Oh my gosh, my dog is snoring. So this year, we are starting and finishing the Immortal Techniques series, which can be all read as standalones, but they're set in the same world. And the first one is called Never Die. This is not going to work. I'm not going to put the author, but we got one. I actually really want to read this one in February. Oh, by the way, I will have a February TBR going up soon, which might surprise you, but we like being spontaneous. Pawn's Gambit is book 2. I have the worst handwriting, by the way. For the person who messaged me on Instagram and said I have chicken scratch handwriting, you're right. It's not an insult, you're just right. I believe Spirits of Vengeance is book 3, which is the most recent one. I think why I have such bad handwriting is I have no patience at all. How do you spell vengeance? Okay, so we have the first 3. The last ebook I want to add to this list is, I think, the Blackhawks. Or maybe it may be Hand of the Sun King, but I really want a physical copy of that one, so we might add that one to the physical list. But yes, the Blackhawks. This is a fantasy I talked about before it was even released, and I was so excited for it. It's a fantasy following a group of mercenaries, very much reminds me of Kings of the Wild, which made me want to read it even more. And I think because I don't have a physical copy, I just keep forgetting about it. But I have it written down, so I will not forget and I will read it. Okay, so let's move on to the primary list, the physical. I'm going to start with the obvious. The Song of Shattered Sand series. I started this series last year. I read books 1 and 2, and they were both 5-star reads for me. I loved them. I just found this world to be so fascinating. This author's writing is butter. His characters are so complex with real personalities, insanely high stakes. I don't know why I've held off reading the next one, but this will be a priority. Veil of Spears is the next book I need to read, so the 3rd in the series. I actually plan for this book to be my next read, because I don't want any more time to pass between when I read book 2, like 4 months ago. Wow. It's been a lot longer than I thought. It's been since August. You know what? Better late than never. So it'll be really nice knowing I'll be able to check off one of these books pretty early. So question is, do I just write the series in general as one box, or do I write each book individually? Is that cheating? Well, I guess I didn't do that for the Mortal Technique series. So we have Veil of Spears, Beneath the Twisted Trees, which is book 4. Book 5, which is When Jackals Stormed the Walls, and then the final book, A Desert Torn Asunder, which I don't have a physical copy of yet, plus the novella, which I own. That's taking up a lot of slots already. Okay, you've convinced me. We'll add them all individually. It'll be really satisfying marking them off as completed. Okay, that took for freaking ever. But we got the list. Oh my gosh, I know a good one. I think you guys will be excited for me because I know the love some of you have for this series. Yeah, we're doing it. Theft of Swords. I am not going another year not having read this. It is going to happen. The series is honestly the new Malice, where I keep saying I'm going to read it and don't. Well, we fixed that with Malice in 2020. 2022 is the Theft of Swords moment. You know what we should do? This should be my reward for finishing the Song of Shattered Sand series, which I want to finish before summer. I've been intrigued by it for years. It's such a me book, I think. I just really want to be like plugged into this side of the fantasy fandom because you see many fantasy lists with this series on it, and I want to see if I fall onto that same camp of loving it. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. As a critical reader, we shall see, but this will be happening. You won't have to shame me when 2023 comes around, because it shall be done. Okay, so moving away from like the high priority series I either want to continue or start, let's jump into some other books that might perhaps be less of a commitment in terms of time and effort. I do have some other ideas on what I think I want to add to this list. For instance, She Who Became the Sun. I can't believe I didn't dive into this when it was released last year. I was dying to read it. I was even sent an ARC. I mean, to be fair, it was like a later release. Wait, was it? Oh my god, it came out in July? Time is fooling me, man. You know what? In my head, it's still nice and fresh. But anyways, I think I had a small fear of not liking it because in my head, I had built up that it's going to be amazing, a 5-star read. It's made all these amazing lists. So it kind of scared me a little bit, but because I felt bad, I actually have a hardcover finished copy on the way that I purchased to make up for my dumbness. So we're diving into it now. There's no going back. This is pitched to be A Song of Achilles meets Mulan, and it's supposed to be a bold, queer, and lyrical read. In fact, it's part of the Sapphic trifecta, and it's basically a reimagining of the rise and fall of the Ming Dynasty. And how could that possibly fail in my eyes? It never could. And the last book, oh wait, we gotta write that down, duh. Okay, so we got some room for the last book I want to mention, and that is Absinthe by Brendan Bellacourt, which is actually the pen name for Bradley P. Bailew, the author of the Song of Shattered Sand series. When I saw he was coming out with his sci-fi debut, all about a futuristic, technological, advanced kind of story set in the roaring 20s, I was so excited because I know his writing. And I just think he's going to bring this world to so much life, and I need to read it. I don't even own it yet, but it's why I'm including it on this list so I don't forget about it. I know this will be a whole different beast, but I am so curious as to how he writes in this genre. The story follows Liam, who is an ex-soldier and he works in Chicago as a mechanic. He suddenly rediscovers his telepathic abilities, which aid him in some type of increasingly complicated power struggle between shadowy factions and the government. There's also some type of drug called absinthe, which is where that title comes from, which causes hallucinations, so we also have to deal with that. It sounds totally different than what I typically like to read, but if it was a different author I had never heard of, I'd probably blow past it. But it's Bailu, so I'm here for it. You know what? We have room for one more book, and I'm going to definitely, yeah, we're doing it. We are so doing it. You may think that I already have a ton of huge books chosen, and you are right. Quality over quantity, baby. The Shadow of What Was Lost. This came out in 2014, and ever since then, I have been entranced by its cover design. Plus, I have only heard amazing things about this trilogy. That is complete, so I could binge read them if I wanted. And I do own all three. I have the other two down here. So that's very convenient. This just sounds like a crazy fantasy adventure I could easily get sucked into. So many people compare it to The Wheel of Time, and even Brandon Sanderson. Like, that's the kind of influence this book grabs, and I'm pretty okay with that, honestly. It takes place in a world where many years ago there was a war between magic users and non-magic users, so it definitely sets the world building and the conflict. I believe it follows three friends who all attend this magical school for the gifted, but their paths take on a very different direction. Honestly, I'm just really excited to get this one off my TBR. It's been on here for years. I have glanced at it so many times, so it's been far too long, so it's time. Right there, all of the books I want to make sure I read this year of 2022. Basically, a lot of really long fantasy series. That's no surprise around this neck of the woods. Let me know down below which books that you are planning to prioritize this year, whether that be new books or ones you've owned for a while. Also, don't forget to click the link down below in the description box to check out Dakala and their smart light changing lamps, and use my code Holly for 20% off your purchase. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you want to watch me tick off this list, because that's going to be very satisfying. And until we meet again, happy reading.